Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to talk about my experience with having gestational diabetes during my pregnancy. I'm going to just touch base on some of the struggles that I experienced, my hospital stay experience, and also what I ate, my schedule, and whatnot. So if you're interested, stay tuned. I found out that I had gestational diabetes when I was 32 weeks pregnant. Of course, you have to pass the sugar test. Of course, I failed the first time, and I had high hopes to pass the second time with a 3-hour sugar test. And that together is just kind of brutal because, well, one, you have to pay about 3+ hours out of your day. You're at the doctor's office longer than you would like, and also you get your blood drawn in increments of 3 every hour that passes. And at that point you're like, okay, I better not have gestational diabetes because that just sucked. And of course I failed. So I want to say that I was really bummed about it, to be honest, because of what I had heard and what I had seen on YouTube, like, you have like this huge change in your diet, and if it's like severe, in some cases that you would have to take insulin. Luckily mine was just diet controlled, and ultimately that just consisted of me counting my carbs per meal. That was definitely a struggle to me because I never had to count anything my whole entire life. Been pretty small, very, very, very skinny and slim my whole entire life, which some would say is a blessing, but I would say it was a curse, especially like in school. But it was definitely difficult because I had to pay attention to every nutrition fact on every food item that I had purchased, and I really had to portion control the food. When initially I was going from eating like 2 burgers, large fries, anything that I wanted every day, pizza, waffles, pancakes, anything that you can think of that was like mega delicious, I was overindulging in it. That's probably what led me to gestational diabetes in the first place, during my pregnancy. And I want to say that the number one struggle too was that you're already pregnant and it's already hard to get around, like walking, doing normal things like bathing, shaving. You're overly tired, and to add having to count carbs, make sure you are eating at certain times every day, checking your blood sugar levels 2 hours after you eat every day or after each meal, and just already stressing about your child, but now mega stressing because of the added frustration of gestational diabetes. Basically, my meal plan each day from 32 weeks to 39 weeks, because if I did not have my baby before 39 weeks, at 39 weeks I was told that I would be induced because I cannot carry her basically full term or to 40 weeks with GD. So that was kind of scary to me because I didn't want to induce my labor. I wanted it to happen naturally. I wanted her to come out on her time, but it is what it is. So my meal plan. First thing in the morning, I would first check my blood sugar. So that would be my fasting sugars, and it had to be under 90. I was really good at this. I never had any issues with my fasting levels being too high, thank God. I would have like 1 or 2 94s, but nothing that was alarming. Also too, you're going to have to bring your sugar levels that you've recorded on a sheet to your doctor's office each prenatal visit, going further until birth. And they look over the sugars, making sure that they look fine and level out and that it's not more severe than. So after checking my fasting sugar level, I would go ahead and start my breakfast, which every day I honestly only craved like a whole breakfast. It would be 2 eggs, whether it was scrambled or fried, and then a protein. Proteins you can eat unlimited of. Fats you actually can indulge in. It was just carbs and sugars that I was told by my dietitian to pay attention to. And so I would eat like sausage, bacon, fried hot dogs, turkey sausage. So it would be one of those with my 2 eggs and a slice of whole wheat toast. And that would pretty much be my breakfast every day. If it was not that, let's say I just got tired of it or I wasn't in the mood to cook, I would eat instant oatmeal, but it had to be the low sugar kind, along with just a bunch of water, just to get me to snack time and then lunch. You're not allowed to eat fruit in the morning, like first thing in the morning, because it can spike your sugar levels. So I would just wait till my snack time, and I would honestly just eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. With that, I would have all natural peanut butter, and then I would have sugar-free jelly, and it actually tastes really good. I would never have thought to have natural peanut butter with sugar-free jelly, but it tastes just the same. I was like a little overwhelmed when I first started shopping for my new diet change, because like I said, I never had to care about what I consumed. It just wasn't a thing for me ever, but this was definitely a new challenge. So I would have my peanut butter and jelly on just 1 slice of bread, because 1 slice of whole wheat bread is like already 45 grams of carbs, and I really had to be careful about how much I was consuming with my snack period, because that would have to ease into my lunch. And then my meal for lunch, it would be most likely like a tuna wrap. I would have like a spinach wrap, and I would have my tuna meat, and then I would have like maybe like a handful of chips, or I would do a piece of fruit or some fruit, whether it was like strawberries, or I could not eat bananas, because bananas are actually high in sugar, as well as watermelon. So it would be like honeydew. I really liked mango too, but mostly I would do that and like a parfait. I really like that I could like go to the store and they would already have like pre-made parfaits with strawberries and blueberries in it. So that was my go-to for lunch to accompany like the sandwich that I made. And then oh yeah, and after my breakfast, 2 hours after that, I would go ahead and check my blood sugar levels again, and that would have to be under 120. Like I said, I would have a few slip-ups, but they were never severe or super consistent, so my doctor never felt like I was off track or it was getting severe. And then 2 hours after my lunch, I would also check my blood sugar levels, and that had to be under 120 as well. Then snack time would roll around, and I probably would just eat like a Nutri-Grain bar or a protein bar. I really like the Nature Valley peanut butter dark chocolate almond protein bars. They were really, I still eat them. They're like really good, especially on the go. That would be one of my favorite snacks. But peanut butter and jelly, when I tell you I could eat peanut butter and jelly like 2 to 3 times a day for a snack, like each of my snacks was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I definitely did. Like it was one of my favorite things. And right now it's crazy because I never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich since, or I haven't had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich since I had to be like in grade school, and I never craved it. So for me to crave it when I was pregnant was crazy to me. But then again, we always said like, oh, you know, Meech really likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so Isla must really like it too because of the dad. I don't know, but he always used to say she likes it because of me. Probably, who knows? But I know one thing, when she gets old enough to have peanut butter and jelly, she's gonna tear those things up because I ate more than enough during my pregnancy. And then I would roll into dinner time, and for dinner I most likely ate a lot of protein, whether it was chicken, salmon, turkey burgers. We would make tacos, whether they be chicken tacos, shrimp tacos. I just had to get like carb smart, like wraps. I had to get like 1 slice of bread or a bun if I was having like a turkey burger. I had to be very careful with the chips that I ate. Of course, the tortillas, the rolls, and the sliced bread. Those things I had to be careful consuming large amounts of, because literally just one slice of bread could be like all of the carbs that I could have. I also would do like a spoon, like maybe like 4 spoonfuls of rice. I would do, of course, vegetables are unlimited. They always said like vegetables are great, sugar-free, anything is good. Just be careful with artificial sweeteners, just not too much of certain ones. And then of course protein, and any berries you could eat unlimited of. So that was great, but is it that great? Because sometimes you just really want, like I really wanted like a burger with like everything on it, like the bread. My snack time was my favorite time though, because I took that time to be the most creative part of my day. I would take a whole grain waffle and put Cool Whip on it and sugar-free syrup and berries, and that would be like a delectable dessert for me. Also, I would do carb smart ice cream with sugar-free cookies as a dessert. And I would also do what was another one that I did? I would also do a pancake for my snack with sugar-free syrup, because I just was craving sweets. So whatever I could put syrup on or jelly on was the one. But I really enjoyed my sugar-free cookies. The fudge stripe ones, they look like the Keebler Elf ones. Those were definitely my ultimate favorite. Like a cheat cookie, but it wasn't. It was sugar-free, it was fine. It was only like, I think 20 grams of carbohydrates, so it wasn't terrible. Every day was a struggle because some days I just didn't want to play by the rules. I remember one time I was like, Meech, can you please go get us a pizza? And he went to Jets and got like this deep dish with all the meats on it. And my sugar levels spiked tremendously, but it was so worth it. It was so worth it because you know what? My baby liked it. It was hard. It's just really hard. So in total, I checked my blood sugar levels 4 times per day. My fasting, after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. I did not have to check before I went to sleep. I know some people do, but like I said, I guess I didn't have a severe case. So my hospital stay with gestational diabetes, it was a bit different. Well, even admitting myself into the hospital, they were like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I have an appointment because I have to get induced. I thought baby girl was gonna come sooner, and I was like hoping that she came at 37 weeks, but no, she was just sitting snug. And I heard that first time moms, their first child does like to stay in them longer. So I kind of figured it was gonna happen, but I was hoping not. I was just marked as the girl with the gestational diabetes. They're like, oh, you're here because you have gestational diabetes. Oh, you're getting induced because you have gestational diabetes. You have to get pricked every 2 hours after your meal or every 2 hours period. Gestational diabetes was written on the board inside the room. It was just stamped in my brain so much during the end of my pregnancy and all through my labor. Because another major struggle is that even while you're going through contractions, they still have to prick you every 2 hours for your blood sugar levels. It was the worst, just the worst. I'm over here pushing and the lady's like, can I get your like finger? I have to check your blood. I'm like, oh my, okay, go ahead, please. 1 second, I'm trying to push out my child. So it's just, it was a major just annoyance. But I mean, I understood that they had to monitor it, but geez. And then the ultimate worst part about gestational diabetes is that although after you deliver your child, you are in the clear, they do not have to prick you ever again. But they do unfortunately have to prick your child every 2 to 3 hours to monitor their blood sugar levels because it could be severely low and that could be an issue. So it really sucked to have to watch them wake up my child every 2 to 3 hours to come prick her on her poor little foot. And they did that for 12 hours total. And I was just so happy when we were able to discharge and leave because I just didn't want to see her be analyzed and poked and woken up and just agitated, because that's the remainder of your hospital stay is just your poor child being tampered with. So to wrap everything up, gestational diabetes for me, it was a challenge, but it made me grateful for just being able to do what I can now. It helped me pay more attention to what is in food, especially the processed foods that I eat. And it also has helped me learn more like self-control and discipline when it comes to what I consume. So that's a positive. But as far as like negatives, I would say is just that I know that potentially I could have diabetes in the future if I don't have a controlled diet. And also my daughter could potentially have diabetes. So those are things that I ultimately think about, but I just highly doubt, because even before I was pregnant, I just wasn't that big. I never ate sweets and I never overindulged in processed foods or even went out to eat too often. I mean, Meech and I are really good at buying a lot of groceries and actually cooking them, and everything is pretty much homemade, and I just don't do too much with eating unhealthy. So I think that's why I stayed so small for so long anyways. And if I treat myself, I mean, I treat myself, but it never really impacted me in a big way. So I really highly doubt that I would have diabetes in the future, and I definitely want to teach my daughter how to have a great diet. That just wraps up my journey with gestational diabetes while I was pregnant. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be blessed and take care.